everybody? Woo! How are you guys today? I'm gonna grab my smudging bowl really quick. I'll be right back. How are you guys today? Oh, hey, hello. I had to help Zoe with something, so I was a couple minutes late. Thank you for your patience. Can you read these comments? Are the live? Yes. So if you're seeing comments, you are live. I'm seeing you. I'm super happy to be with you today. What a day. Spent most of this morning for me in some happy tears. I'm so proud to see a woman in a position like Kamala Harris, just as a woman, fills me with a lot of hope. You know, when I finished my PhD, I wanted to be in the government. I wanted to go into public service, and that's the reason I got a PhD. I thought maybe I would become a diplomat or a translator, you know, and then eventually make my way into public service. I absolutely have no desire to be in public service anymore at all. But I'm really proud of other women who do have that as a goal. And so today's a big day. Even if you don't agree ideologically or politically, hopefully we can all celebrate that someone who identifies as a woman has made it that far. So I'm celebrating. Okay. Yeah, I actually did have that moment today. I'm like remembering being young and thinking, wouldn't it be cool to be president, and how sad it is in a way that I would never now want that goal. Not for myself, but maybe for one of you will be president one day. Chris is like, I would just like a new job at this point. So speaking of jobs and new, I got a new Oracle deck for us today. You know me and my Oracle deck fetish situation that I have. So this one is by, it's not my first deck, by Colette Baron Reed, but I do like her decks a lot. And this one is called Oracle of the Seven Energies. So I'm going to be pulling cards from this deck. It's new to me. It's maybe new to you. If you already have it, then maybe you love it. And so I just cleared a little bit. I want to ask my guides to come closer. Help me be a good clear and open channel today for wisdom that wants to come through. I want to ask that your guides come closer and help me help open access to your wisdom bank so I can read for you today. You like this deck? Oh, good. Those of you who have it, that always, whenever you tell me you have the deck and you like it, I'm always like, yes, I made a good choice. So if you'd like a reading, please feel free to say yes, I would like a reading, or give it to me what you got. Come on, girl. I'll see any of those as open messages. And we give thanks for wisdom and insight already on its way for us today. All right, Estefania said, I'm so excited to be able to get to see you live. I'm happy you're here too. Welcome in, darling. Okay, Rebecca Ferrer said, I would love a reading, please. Hi, Rebecca. I'll get to as many of you as I can today. I'm glad you're here. So Rebecca. I won't look at the book for all of them, but it's a new deck, so sometimes I like to. And I love this one. Look at the dandelions. Willing release. It's actually part of the work we're doing tonight in Crystal Masters, so get excited about that. We are definitely doing some releasing work. So this is card number 49. All right, Rebecca, it says, some days you have to let go of your struggle to find an answer and focus on other things for a while. This doesn't mean giving up altogether or losing anything. Remember that in our co-creative partnership with the divine, give and take is necessary. You do your part by setting your intentions and taking necessary actions, but you must then surrender the form, the timing, and the how to your higher power. There's a divine plan for each of us. You have put in the work, defined your desires, felt them deeply, and engaged your higher power. Now you must let go and see what transpires, see what happens. This isn't always easy. And the rest of the card talks about impatience, when we get kind of frustrated with spirit time, like, why hasn't it happened yet? So let me see, Rebecca, what the guides are saying. Patience isn't your strong suit. In your defense and fairness, I feel like there are some things that probably would have or could have happened already that haven't. So I sort of sense your I would call it frustration with timing. 2021 is going to be a productive year for you, but more the second half than the first, the spirit guides are saying. So be patient. Trust the timing. There's someone that has to come in to help you that isn't here yet. Does that make sense, Rebecca? It's a helper. Helpers come in all forms. I have learned that over the years. Like, I don't question it anymore because they just arrive when they're going to arrive, and it's usually not my time, but it's usually right on time in terms of spirit and, you know, what spirit's trying to manifest. So yeah, she says I'm very impatient. So, but, and it's shitty to tell you, I think you have to be a little bit more patient, but I feel like after summer solstice, July, feels like mid-July, it's warm. Mid-July to end of August, early September, feels like the timing for whatever this is to pop. And then you'll be like, okay, well, now I get it, because this person wasn't here yet, and this person's going to help you. And I feel like there's money involved. I don't know exactly what the exchange is. So anyway, I hope that's good news, because it feels like good news. It's just like, it's not happening right now. All right, Rebecca Magyar. Hi, Rebecca. She said I would love a reading. Hi, Rebecca. Rebecca. I thought this was a cool card. Again, it's a new deck to me, but when I was flipping through it, I was like, this is a cool card. It's called The Oracle's Gift. It says, when we ask for a sign from the universe, we are essentially asking for divine guidance that we believe needs to come from a source outside of us, which is true, right? This is because we don't always trust our intuition. An oracle simply provides an answer that's already inside of us. I mean, just like when I'm doing readings for you, right? I'm not going to tell you anything probably that you don't already know somewhere deep inside, but sometimes we need somebody else to say it. And then it's like, oh yeah, I did kind of know that. Oracles show up in myriad ways. Sometimes you see a billboard or hear a song or pull a card and you get the exact message you need. Today, trust in your own capacity to know what's right, to tune into source, and also be able to read the signs reflecting what is true and real within you. Let this oracle give you the gift of knowing that you are indeed on the right track. I like that. That feels accurate for you too. Timing. I'm listening to the spirit guides talk about timing. And this is for both of you that I've read for so far. You got to trust the timing. Intention meets timing in the domain of magic. Okay? It's always right on time. The trick is, and this is what they're saying, and I think it's really true based on my own experience, the hardest thing is when you just want something to happen soon and it's not quite their time. That can seem like the longest delay. But they always have your best interests at heart. Ooh, let me just finish this, whatever they're saying, because it feels like it's for some others of you too. So I'll just tell you what I'm hearing. Much has been put on hold this year for many. It isn't just you. We have needed a reset. And they have been waiting for us to align priority with intention. Isn't that true? Align priority with intention. So are you ready to align your priorities with your intentions? Ooh. Yeah, but I had Zoe when I was almost 36, Lauren. Now, I will tell you, my doctor said did I ever tell you this story? I had Nick at 30, I was 33 when I got pregnant, and I was 34 when I had him. And I was late 35 when I got pregnant with Zoe, 36 when I had her. So when I went to my gynecologist the first time with Nick, my OBGYN, and we were going through my maternity appointments, it was like nothing out of the ordinary, right? Like, all the things. And when I was, went to my first OBGYN appointment with Zoe, she sat me down and she's like, you are now a mother of advanced age, what we call a MOA. That actually happened to me. And I remember thinking, and she wrote on my chart MOA, right? And I was like, but I wasn't 2 years ago? And she's like, no, you crossed this threshold, now you're a MOA. And I remember I looked at her and I'm like, I've heard of a MILF. The hell's a MOA? And I remember leaving the doctor's office and just going, well, shit. What do you do about that? Yeah. So she's like, now that you're a mother of advanced age, we have to do all these other things. And I was just like, you mean a MILF, right? I didn't say it, but I was thinking it. And anyway, 35 is way young. And 36 is young, and 37 is young AF. I still feel like I could bang one out right now, but I'm a little on the tender side of that. But anyway, I was a MOA, not to be confused with a MILF. Okay. Hi, Cynthia Gutierrez. What a transition. She said, may I be blessed with a reading? I'm thinking of dedicating Soulship Alchemy to my throat chakra. Is there anything I need to know about it? I'm hearing healing a past life trauma with my voice. Yeah. I feel like you lost your life at some point through the throat. Hold on. That explains a lot. Let's take a look and see what the spirit guides are saying. Cynthia. Do you have any, scars or anything? Sometimes people who have had, have been strangled or, had some kind of, past life trauma here will have, lines. It's interesting. How we carry some of these markers in from the past life realm. A tall tale, number 35. It says, you or someone else is telling a tall tale right now. You always know if a falsehood is spoken because it doesn't feel grounded. When you lie, you get high on an illusory sense of power that is doomed to fail. Whatever lie we get caught up in isn't as important as the motive for it. Why does anyone lie to us? Perhaps we don't believe the truth is good enough, or we want to keep doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. And then there's the lie put forth while in denial. Today, ask for the truth. This is throat chakra, so you summoned this card, right? Because truth resides here in the expression of it, the receipt of it. Be willing to pay the price and be okay with the vulnerability. Transparency is required to get you where you need to go. Be truly empowered. Reveal the strength of what is true and authentic. Any other path leads to a dead end. Remember the saying, the truth will set you free, and get ready to fly unfettered. It's interesting because what I'm hearing them say is, whatever this past life experience was, I think you were trying to tell the truth. Yeah, the pendulum is like, yes. So you have to trust that it's safe now. It feels really big. Big, big, big. You're a late talker. And you wonder why. You learned in a powerful way to shut up. And so now we have to figure out how to express, right, without fear. Yeah. I think your timing is really good. And through calcination, right, we can burn through all those limiting beliefs and old energies and everything that isn't serving you now. All right, Nicole Vinhus, how are you? She said, I would love to have my first reading. I would like to know what I need to work on. That's a fun question. If you were to ask my spirit guides what I need to work on, they would be like, how many pieces of paper do you have? Let's put them in alphabetical order for Athena. Let's start with A. Nicole, what do you need to work on? Nicole. You guys always partner up with each other. So Nicole and Cynthia have a little entanglement right around the throat chakra. This gets to a core question. And it's not just coming up for individuals right now. I feel like it's coming up in the field. Like, what is truth? Is it safe to speak your truth? Are you going to be judged? Are you going to be ridiculed? Are you going to be, Discernment, though. Hold on. This is what the spirit guides are saying. So yours is a little bit different from Cynthia's. Cynthia's is past life stuff and like really coming in and around that question of like, is it safe to speak my truth? And who can I speak my truth to? And then for Cynthia, part of it too, what I'm hearing is practicing, right? Like this will be a skill that you cultivate as you overcome your barriers to trust. With Nicole, what I'm hearing is discernment. Have you believed people who have not been honest with you? There's a lot of compassion from the guides, I feel, around this, because they're talking about pain that you have experienced that you didn't deserve, shouldn't have happened, all those things, right? And now you're discerning where truth is, what truth looks like, what to believe, what not to believe, and how to place your faith. Yeah, it's interesting. It reminds me of me a little bit in a way, what they're saying, because I don't know how you are. I'm a very trusting person on the surface of it, right? But for me to really become intimate with someone, that level of trust has to be, like, it takes me a really long time before I really consummate the relationship, right? So on the surface, like, yeah, I'll take people at their word and I kind of, I'm willing to go with the flow and stuff. But if I'm really going to go all in, I test and test and test and test because I've been really hurt before. So I think this gift of discernment that they're cultivating in you is a really important one. And it will keep you, this is what they're saying, it'll keep you from feeling that hurt and that pain again. Not on that level, I don't think. Woo. Hopefully that's helpful guidance for you today. Yeah, a lot of us have been in that position before. Yeah. Okay. But that's always my advice. I pretty much let everybody in. And I forgive really easily. But people don't get in. You know what I mean? They stay kind of right here. But if you get in, it's because I've tested probably a bunch of times. All right, Melanie Moore. She'd love a card or a crystal. Well, let's do a card for today, but it's good to know. Hopefully I can catch you on our next crystal readings too. I just put my crystals right away. I literally had it out like 10 minutes ago. So let's see, Melanie Moore, what's coming up in the cards for you today. Melanie. This is a fun card too. The Power of Purpose. Feels like a good card for today. And it says, there comes a time when you realize that you are destined for something that is yours and yours alone. The catalyst might be an experience with a special person, a path you choose, something you feel called to do. Right now, you're invited, Melanie, to step into a new empowered sense of authentic purpose, bolstered by a healthy dose of self-esteem. You are called to release old conditioning. There's no need to be self-conscious or act a certain way to please others. You cannot fail if you immerse yourself fully in what is in front of you now. They keep saying new patterns, new behaviors, new beliefs, new assumptions, new environments, new relationships. There's a lot of new energy circling around you, and this is good. They are showing me some stones. It's interesting. I'd be so curious if I pulled the tray out, like would I pull these stones? They're talking about carnelian and chrysoprase, to encourage you to push past any kind of mental barriers you might have around a lot of this new energy. Because I don't know how you feel about it. I love change. So when things evolve or relationships shift, I usually get kind of excited about that, because for me, it's like whenever change comes, there's always an open door, right? So there's always energy that swirls. But for some people, when change comes, it makes them very nervous. And I'm sensitive to that too. There is a lot of new energy in your field in this year ahead. So if newness is a thing for you, you might want to, do some ceremony around that to create space for what's new. Because it's good. A lot of the new energy that's coming in around you, it feels like a breath of fresh air, kind of, Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Chanel. That's awesome. Lisa Woods is turning 55 on the 23rd, this Saturday. Hi, Lisa Woods. You come back here, cutie pie. You look fan-flippin-tastic. It looks good on you. All right, so Lisa, let's do a birthday reading for you. You're stepping into a magician year, right? 110. We're going to do numerology tonight in Crystal Masters, so Lisa. It's a fun card, storyteller. Your birthday card. It says, do you know the story you tell others about who you are? You are a unique human being with unique talents and a story unique to you and your experience. Can be found in the way you weave together those threads of yourself in the world. If there's anything in your life you want to change, then it's time to adjust the story you tell. Let's see. What if you could connect to your true power as a co-creator of your reality? The story originates in your mind. How you think, your conditioning and past experiences, how you see and view the world. The truth is you have everything you need to tell a new tale and to weave more blessings into the world as your unique contribution. So what's your story this year? What's the story of 55? It's different than the story of 54, 53. They're even saying different than your 40s. Greater wisdom, strength. This is what they're giving me for you. You don't have to keep telling certain parts of the story if you don't want to. How would it change the story if you took those parts out? What an empowering idea, isn't it? That we have control over the narrative, right, of our life. What would you change? You know? Like, I've often had that thought too, where, like, I imagine a time in my life where I don't talk about MS. It's more than a decade-old story, and I'm kind of tired of it. So part of me is like, I can imagine a time in my life where I'm like, oh yeah, if somebody brings it up, but like, I forgot about that. Kind of interesting. Aaron, is it Geta or is, I think it's Geta, or is it Gita? Geta. It's nice to see you today. She said, we love card. So this is for you, Aaron. Aaron. Smoke and Mirrors. Card number 42. Smoke and Mirrors. It's a beautiful card when you look at it. It's about illusion versus reality. We're actually built to view the world inaccurately. Our five senses tell us we are separate from one another. We're conditioned to see time as linear, which creates a consciousness of delineation and separation. We have an innate fear that what we see is all there is, even though we know deep down there's more. The entire world is a construct of smoke and mirrors, and our job is to discover the truth that lies beyond the illusion. Discoveries at the frontiers of science align with what the ancients have always known. At the atomic level, we are blinking lights in empty space. Consciousness is fundamental. Time can be bent, and we are eternal. I love this. Thank you, Aaron, for calling this card out today. Ask yourself if what you see is really just what you're looking for. Today, trust the inner voice that reminds you that you will truly find what you seek. And things are not exactly as they seem. Interesting, isn't it? Well, here's the question from the guides. They're not messing around today, Aaron. What do you need to be happy? That's from the spirit guides. What do you need to be happy? And then ask yourself again, and ask yourself again, and ask yourself again, and ask yourself again. Because you might say, well, I'd be really happy if we moved. And it's like, okay, but what does that move represent, right? Is it because you want to be in a different house, or you want to be in a different city, or you don't like the people where you live, or you don't like the weather? Like, keep pushing into that question, and then when you answer the question, push into it again, and you answer the question, push into it again. There's something in there for you around conceptions of happiness and satisfaction, and seeing that there's more to all of this than meets the eye. Interesting, right? Okay. Ooh. Colleen, she said, love a birthday reading. I turned 24 last Saturday. Hi, Colleen. Happy birthday to you. Oh, 24 is fun. Oh, Aaron, I see you, darling. See you. What do you need to be happy? The spirit guides are saying to you, Aaron, I feel like I want to cry. It's not that far away. Your happiness. It's not that far away. It hasn't been that long. All right, Colleen. Colleen. What does this 24th year have in store for you? Let's see what this card is all about. Exposed and revealed. Sounds intense. It says, this is the card for healing shame, which is a big part of alchemy, by the way, because all of us have shame in different ways and different levels and different experiences and times in our life, and we all have to work through it in our own way, our own timeline. It says, when you experience shame, you don't just feel you've done something wrong, you feel like you are wrong or flawed. Know that life loves you. What a great birthday card. Know that life loves you, and the universe doesn't make junk, it only makes magic. However, many social interactions are steeped in distorted, unhealthy ways of expressing pain. Here is the way out of this cycle. Shame is a cry for help. Consider whether you could have been triggered in the outer world by unresolved issues that have matched your inner pain points, and if someone has shamed you, perhaps you've triggered them. How miserable they must be to spend their energy in such a toxic way. Woo! You can't love someone out of their shame. You can only show compassion for them and yourself, set healthy boundaries, and refuse to fan the flames. This is an opportunity for growth, evolution, healing, and freedom this year for you. Can you let go of your attachments to control? When you allow yourself to be laid open in this way, you gain a beautiful new perspective. And then the infinite power of the divine is there to set you free. I love that. You are starting a new cycle, Colleen. And I want to tell you so 2021, you're 24. 2022, 2023, 2024. 2025, 2026, and 2027 are critical years for you. And the work that you're doing now is actually for that period of time. Do you feel like you're on a little bit of an accelerated timeline? I feel like your spirit guides are like pushing you a little bit or fast forwarding you, because there's certain work they want you to do and they want it completed by your 27, 28 birthday, 29 at the latest, which aligns, by the way, to your Saturn return, which is both the most awesome time in our early lives as well as the most challenging time, right? My Saturn return was intense, to say the least. I got married. People either get married or they get divorced. They either leave or they stay. There's a whole bunch of energy that happens, right? Well, and the number one reason that a lot of people don't achieve the level of success in their lives that they desire is they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be seen. It's too scary. So they go, well, I'll just play small. But that's not really the path, right? It's time. Mm-hmm. And you're in the right place to do it. All right, let's see. Elisa Brummett. Are there any messages for me around the dark night of the soul? I'm digging my way out but need some clarity. Hi, Elisa. How are you? Elisa. Power of Purpose card, which came up. But I actually pulled two cards, so I'm going to show them both to you, because this one was kind of attached to it, and usually that's not an accident, right? So Power of Purpose, and then Spirit of Gratitude. The guides are like, what have you said thank you for today? Have you said thank you for something today? No, it's hard. They want me to focus on the Spirit of Gratitude card. So in prayer, we connect directly to our higher power. It's a way for us to be in communion with the divine. Prayer lets us know we're not alone. When we pray, we acknowledge that we are only part of the equation of life. We engage in humility, knowing we're in a co-creative partnership and we have so much to be thankful for. Expressing gratitude and asking to be of service is the most powerful, prosperous prayer of all. Yeah, the kind of prayer that will prosper you and others today is one of deep, abiding gratitude. You will become a magnet for miracles when you're grateful and asked to be a channel for divine purpose, which was your other card, right? The power of source is within you. Now is the time to awaken it. I'm just listening for a second, because the spirit guides are saying this isn't just for you. I think you asked the question for a lot of people. So if you've been waiting for a reading, I would pay attention to what I'm going to share, because it feels like it came through for the collective. And please know, like, don't take this the wrong way. Sometimes when I say things and it comes through me, I think, like, I wouldn't necessarily say this to you as Athena. Okay, so if it doesn't sound like something I would say, it's not coming from me, though. This is coming through. At some point, even though this year is about you and alchemy is about you and transformation is about you, because what else is it about? At some point, this has to become not about you, this journey that you're on. And that answers all these questions for us. This is what the guides are saying. Because they're saying that answers all these questions for you about ego and spirit and purpose and, am I living my path? And, like, it answers all those questions, because when we only see ourselves and our issues and our challenges and our daily and our struggles and all of that, like, we get really small. It gets very sad. And it's easy to get caught up in the you, me thing, because, and especially now during a pandemic when people are more isolated than they usually are, there's more time in some ways to think, which can lead people to reflect and become really myopic and focused on their own experience. But we're really not here for ourselves. I have gone through this exercise this year where every time I've started to feel kind of overwhelmed or discouraged, I've thought, what's this experience like for my neighbor? What's this experience like for people in my community? What's this experience like for my team? What's this experience like for my parents? What's this experience like for my kids? And as soon as I do that, as soon as I kind of helicopter up a little bit and macro out of my own womb, there's like an instant sense of purpose and connection and calm, because I don't know if any of this makes sense, but that's what I feel like is coming up for you. It's time, and I think, again, for the collective, I think Elise, like, sort of summoned the idea, but I think you summoned it for more than just yourself, and I've also been reflecting on this. At some point, it has to be about something bigger. And that doesn't mean that your experience isn't important, and that doesn't mean that, you shouldn't focus on you, and it doesn't mean that self-care doesn't matter, and it doesn't mean any of that, right? But I have been radically clinically depressed before in my life. I'm not now, but I have been. And I have felt hopeless at different times in my life. And when I look at what was going on during what I thought was a dark night of the soul, right, which is a very accurate description, a lot of the time I was not in service to anybody else, And we also get into these places where, like, we also get very critical of other people. Well, I don't like the way he did that, or I could do better than she did, or why did she do that way? And it's like, so then go and do it. You know what I mean? We get small, we get focused on ourselves, we get critical of everybody else, we get kind of myopic, and it's like, go and be of service and expand outward to figure out how you can take all of this beauty that's been handed to you. And a lot of times, too, we start to recognize beauty when we see it through the eyes of other people. You know what I mean? And I think of that, there's a lot of examples of this where you could say, oh, like maybe you don't like your job, right? But then somebody else looks at your job and says, oh, you're so lucky to get to do that. You know, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could travel, or I wish I could. And you're like, sometimes you just need that external perspective to reflect on, which helps you to see the beauty where you might be missing it right now. It's a powerful thing, that helicoptering that we need to do. So again, even though this whole year in alchemy is about you, and in, and down, and it's also about you alchemizing on behalf of, or as a channel for, or as an opportunity to connect with, right? Like this isn't just about you at the same time, right? Yeah. So thank you for that. I thought that was really powerful. All right, Debbie Sinclair would love a reading, a relationship. Let's see what's going on relationship-wise. Hi, Debbie. Debbie. This is a cool card. I think you're gonna like this card. Divine Matrix. It says, do you ever wonder how synchronicities come together? Imagine that everything possible under the sun is waiting to be claimed. You're so separate from what you desire, or you are not separate from what you desire to manifest. Everything is connected within a vast web of life, a divine matrix. Even that which you have not yet observed of your life experience is still connected to you now. I believe that. It remains dormant until you choose it. Life operates on life's own terms. You don't live in a vacuum. So you are surrounded by a multitude of realities that were brought to life by other people. These can surely affect you if you allow them to, but as your thread, your luminous life force, your courageous dream is part of the tapestry of life, you're being invited to be conscious of the patterns you're weaving now. Isn't it amazing to know you have such power inherent in you just by being alive? You will see evidence of the truth of this matrix. It is in you. What you do matters, and all manner of miracles are waiting for you to lay claim to them. Are you ready? That's a fun one. Here's what I know about relationships, and here's what I feel is coming through for you around it. The relationships that we seek are already accessible to us all the time. And what prevents them from coming through is sometimes our needing to finish some work first, because I will always tell you this, the universe is protective of you, and it's also protective of the people you would be in relationship with. So if the universe is grooming this amazing partner for you, they're not going to bring that partner to you until you're in a place where you're not going to hurt them either. And I've seen that where the person's like, no, I'm so ready. And the universe is like, she's not ready. I'm not saying that's the case for you, but I am saying we're part of a web. And so the universe looks at all the chess pieces and it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to move Debbie over here and I'm supposed to move this person over here. But then if I move that person there now, before I introduce this other character, then Debbie needs this person first to practice, and then Debbie's gonna, right? So there's all these like chess pieces, but we're so focused on our chess piece that we don't see the universe has this much bigger, it's conducting a whole orchestra, right, of energy. So I think when you experience what you want to experience in a relationship, you're going to tell me later that you can't believe how close it all was, or how it was like right there. There's some kind of energy around, like, I can't believe it was right there. So what I want you to do is really articulate everything that you want, and also everything that you're prepared to create and offer in service of it. Because it has to be in service of your highest good and the collective highest good at the same time. Yeah, I'm getting that perspective too, Janine. We have to kind of like, don't get stuck, you guys. Don't get stuck right here. Like, really hear me on this. You need to, class tonight will help you macro a little bit, because I think we get really myopic. We get so exquisitely focused on this little tiny piece of real estate and we forget to back out and look at the collective, right? It's true. All right. Hey, Paula. She said, this is Paula. Would love a reading on my love life. Married for 31 years, having strange dreams. Are they fun dreams? I kind of feel like there's some interesting activity in your field. Paula, Paula, Paula. I'll just tell you, I don't like this saying because my mom says it a lot. I'm not trying to be critical of my mom, but it just drives me up the flippin' wall. However, if she hadn't said this so much when I was young, I probably wouldn't have the job I have today. Because I spent my whole life going, no, it isn't what it is. It's what I decide to make of it. Do you have people in your life who say that a lot? It is what it is. It's like, okay, well, maybe for you it is what it is. For me, I'm gonna go shift that shit and turn it around. It's an interesting card though with the doors. So it says, what happens when you look at the world? Can you see it exactly as it is or only as you assume it to be? It is time to radically accept life on life's terms, when you stop fighting against it and instead fight for what you truly desire. When you're no longer in denial about what's in front of you, you'll be empowered to make necessary changes. The irony is that real transformation can only happen once you surrender to the idea that things are exactly as they're meant to be. That is a big truth. Did you hear that? Can I say that to you one more time? For those in the back who maybe were a little distracted. The irony is that real transformation, this is alchemy, real alchemy, can happen only once we surrender to the idea that things are, in fact, exactly as they're meant to be. If you step back with clarity and acceptance, you'll realize that life is offering you something magical. This is interesting. How did that resonate with you or not resonate with you? I'm very curious. There's some other energy in your field. There's some other energy in your field. And it doesn't matter how long you've been married. I feel like there's another, I feel like if we were alone in this room together and you were to tell me what you really want, it scares you a little bit. But that's okay, right? Indulge it just a little bit. Because in our desires and in our needs and in the things that we want, a lot of energy is hidden there. That's the reason why shadow work is so juicy, right? A lot of us like, oh, I don't want to go there, or I don't want to think about that, or I need to tune that out, or I shouldn't be thinking about that. And it's like, if it's coming up, maybe get to look at why. It doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. It just means it's in the field. Okay? Darcy Lore is in her Saturn return. Well, welcome to the Thunderdome, darling. I think about my second Saturn return in a decade, and I'm like, All right, Darcy, let's see. Saturn return medicine for Darcy. What a card. Waking the lion. Nothing is promised to you. But you will never truly see magic if you don't take a risk and come to the edge of certainty in your life and leap into the unknown. You will have no guarantee of immediate success, but you must summon your bravery in the face of possible pain, failure, or even success, and own your power. The act of making this leap, no matter the final outcome, awakens the lion within. What type of courage is called for today? Only you know, and only you have the power to choose your path. Know that it takes just as much strength and bravery to love and be vulnerable as it does to confront a personal challenge or a physical obstacle. Whatever your choice, you will not fail as long as you act with courage and integrity. It's funny, the spirit guides are saying, take your time. Take it one step at a time here. Ask yourself what the next best step is. Are you looking too far out in advance, Darcy? It's easy to do that sometimes. I feel like when I was in my late 20s, I did that more than now. I would look at like the 10-year plan. I don't so much do a 10-year plan anymore. I do kind of like 1 to 2 years. I'm a little more in the moment. But I think when we're young, there's this tendency to go, well, where am I going to be in my 30s? And what am I going to be doing in my 40s? And then it's like hard to even imagine your 50s, right? So I think it's more about like taking each step as it comes, recognizing that you have the gifts and the courage and everything within you that you need to be brave and take your next best step. But when we're trying to plan and do and anticipate too far ahead, we often lose sight of the work that needs to happen right now. And that's what I'm feeling from your spirit guys. It's like, don't get too caught up. You know, stay here. This year, next year, don't try to macro out too much. Right? Yeah. Oh, fear of success is a massive block. It's the reason people don't do things. It really is. I can't tell you how many times people say to me, oh, I would love to do, you know, have something like Sage Goddess, but there's no way I would want anyone seeing me on camera, or like, what if I make a mistake, or what if I don't know the answer to something, like, oh my God, right? And it's like, yeah, because that shit happens, and it's scary, right? Let's see, Melissa Doolin, and then I'm going to do a collective for the group. So let's see, Melissa, what's going on with you? She said, hi, I would like a reading, please. I've been doing a lot of cleaning and clearing work and would like to know if it is done or close to being done. Woo! Isn't that fun, Drenda? I'm with you. I think it's been a fun day of energy. And happy anniversary to you and your partner, Shannon. All right, Melissa. Is your cleaning and clearing? How's it going? Melissa. I think this is my favorite card from today. Just the energy of it. There's something really cool about it. It's the Divine Matrix card. Number 44. Which is a great number in numerology too. This is remember the Synchronicities card when this one came up earlier. Imagine that everything possible under the sun is waiting to be claimed. You're not separate from what you desire. Woo! Life operates on life's terms. You don't live in a vacuum. You will see the evidence of the truth of this matrix. It is in you. What you do matters. All manner of miracles are waiting for you to lay claim to them. You know what the spirit guides are saying? It's funny how they communicate. They're saying this next phase for you is not so much about cleaning and clearing, but allowing and receiving. And that will have its own, that poses its own challenges, right? Sometimes cleaning and clearing is easy. It's deciding what we want. I'm really good at letting go. I'm not good at always at articulating what I want to receive. I don't know what that's about, actually, but it's much easier for me to give than it is for me to receive. It's much easier for me to say what stays out than what comes in. I think it's grief, probably. you know, in my genetic line. Might be the same for you too. Remember that the releasing work of life is never complete. Sorry, that's from them. So it is not done, but this phase of it is nearing completion. And then you will have to decide what replaces what you've released. And they're saying choose with intention. There will be more to release. It's so true. I guess there's always more to release, right? As long as we're here. I mean, I think about it as getting your car washed, you know, energetic clearing. It's like, oh, look at I have a black car, right? It's like the minute it's clean and I drive it anywhere, it's covered in dust and shit. And it doesn't look good anymore. I think that's how energy work is, right? As soon as you clean that car and you're like, cha-ching, it's all clean, you drive around and a big bird shits on it. And you're like, really? I just cleaned that windshield. So let's do a collective card. This is a card for everyone in Soul Shift Now who's here live. Everybody who will be watching later. A card for the collective. A card to guide our week and our work in this second week of January. Soul Shifts. Well, that jumped out. Let's go with it. Could there be deception in our lineage? 1000%. Of course there's deception in your lineage. Yeah. There's deception in your lineage now, so why wouldn't there be, right? We are all deceived at one point or another in major and minor ways. It's a great question, actually. This is the Birds of a Feather card. Wink, wink. Look, it's like us. Little birds sitting around looking at each other, chirping at each other. Chirp, chirp. It says, sharing community, a sense of belonging, fellowship with like-hearted people. Yay! It does say haha, right? I mean, if you're looking between my boobs. Okay, it says, have you ever wondered how many people naturally gravitate to one another and discover intimacy and a connection? This is a great card, actually. There's a kind of magnetic energy, like an invisible ray of light. The concept of belonging is playing an important role in your life right now. Isn't that interesting? Perhaps you recently found yourself in a group where you knew you were in the right place. I hope that's true. Trust those strands of connection, for now is the time to thrive in community. What you will find is a deeper and more expansive way of looking at the world by bearing yourself to others and sharing ideas, hopes, and dreams. It's totally our card. Cheep, cheep. However long you stay here in this journey of becoming who you're meant to be, connecting to community and participating in fellowship is the best thing for you right now. You will flourish as part of a network of like-minded and like-hearted people. Stick to what feels good and resonates with your heart is true. And when you understand the value of this community, you'll discover everything you're hoping for and much more than you're expecting. You can't make that stuff up. Love you. Isn't that true? Understanding the concept of me before we, or no, we before me. That makes me really happy. Well, thank you for being here today. And thank you for being in our community more generally. You are loved and valued and seen and appreciated and understood, probably in ways you don't even realize. I'm really truly grateful for you. I liked this deck. So this was the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. She did a lovely job on this deck. I know. It was very sweet. I am forever grateful for you guys. Truly, truly. And the best is yet to come. So it is 3:10. I will see you in 50 minutes from now. I want to thank your spirit guides for allowing me in. I want to thank my spirit guides for helping me be a good open channel today. And I want to give thanks for wisdom and information that will continue to come through to you, maybe in dream time tonight or in your meditations, until we see each other for readings again next week, which I will look forward to. You are so welcome. Mwah! I'll see you in just under an hour. Go get some tea or